Abhayacharana Vindam Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada was born on September 1st, 1896 to Sriman Gaura Mohan De and Srimati Rajanindi. Abhay was raised in India and into the Vaishnava religion, or worshippers of Lord Vishnu, which contained 4 principles: no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication of any sort, and no meat eating. He graduated from a very reputable school called Scottish Church College in Calcutta, India, in the year of 1920. Following the example set by Mahatma Gandhi, who was leading a civil disobedience to European influence, he declined his diploma. In the year of 1922, he met his guru, or spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and was given the task to deliver the Sankirtan movement set by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago. Seeing as it's a great offense to disobey the spiritual master, Prabhupada began translating the Srimad Bhagavatam, which contains 18,000 verses, and the Bhagavad Gita, which contains a mere 700 verses. 1965 was the year he came to America with only $20, 40 rupees, and hundreds of English translated transcripts of Bhagavad Gita. He began by sitting underneath a tree in Tompkins Square Park, Manhattan, and sang kirtan. Being the time of the hippie movement, many hippies joined him in singing. Many people stayed afterwards to hear his lectures, and thus he changed the lives of millions of hippies from being heavily into drugs to quitting cold turkey. Most of his disciples served time in jail on many accounts of soliciting and disturbing the peace for having sankirtan in the streets of cities all over the U.S. Today, the Vaishnava religion is the 3rd most popular religion in the world, thanks to Prabhupada and his disciples that took the time to talk to people on the streets. Temples were beginning to establish all over the country without Prabhupada's word to begin building. Prabhupada traveled around the world 13 different times in his life, preaching wherever he went. With all this excitement, Prabhupada ended up in the hospital with heart problems. The doctors did multiple tests on Prabhupada. Eventually, he became tired of the tests in order to be released. He was nearly kidnapped by one of the disciples, until the other disciples had heard word of what was going on. They arrived and were able to check Prabhupada out of the hospital. His disciples took him to a beach home so he could rest and recover by the order of the doctor. After he recovered, he helped the devotees to put on a great festival. This festival contained a huge float, and they all, Prabhupada included, walked for miles beside the float. Eventually, he was reaching the end of his life. Knowing this, he booked a flight back to Vrindavan, India, the land of Krishna's birthplace. Prabhupada left his body at age 81. Throughout his life, he initiated hundreds of people to become his disciples, 2 of which are found in Spanish Fork, Utah, Churu Das and Vaibhavi Devi Dasi, who are continuing his teachings and lectures at the Lotus Temple in Spanish Fork, Utah, which they built. The biggest festival in the Western Hemisphere is found here, known as the Color Festival or Holi, which begins on March 24th and lasts until the 25th. Being vegetarian helped Prabhupada to stay healthy, but what kept him on his feet? Was it that, or the drive to fulfill the request of his spiritual master, or the lifelong choice of vegetarianism? Namami Swarang Satchidananda Rupang Lasat Kundalango Kule Brajamana